Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Building Your Empire with SophieZo. I have yet another great guest today. I'm so excited to have her on my show. She is a friend and colleague on social media. I'm in her little business group on Facebook. She's a really great woman. Her name is Bernadette Boas. She is the Ball of Fire business success coach, speaker, pod video cast host, and author behind the powerful, raw, and personal memoir, Shedding the Corporate Bitch, Shifting from Bitch to Rich in Life and Business, that serves as her foundation in everything she does in her work and life. Bernadette leverages her 25-year corporate savviness with her entrepreneurial spirit, personal lessons, blessings, and how-to tips to inspire, educate, and entertain individuals to shed their bitches of fear, insecurity, and doubt so they create riches in their business and life they deserve. Bernadette is the CEO and founder of Ball of Fire Inc., which is comprised of her two passion businesses, Ball of Fire Coaching, a business success and leadership growth company, and Ball of Fire Media, an entertainment production and publishing company. Bernadette has called Atlanta, Georgia her home for over 20 years and is often seen around town with her four-legged best friend, Coco. Bernadette, welcome to the show. I love that. Coco, the dog. I was, well, yeah, unless you have your cat on a leash, that must be a dog. I mean, some people do have cats on a leash.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. Yeah, and you might actually hear her say hello because she loves to the minute she hears me on doing a radio intro, she knows. And she's kind of like, "Oh, I might need to say hello."
That would be great. She's welcome to the show anytime. So, Bernadette, thank you for being on the show, first and
Sure.
foremost. I
Thank
really
you for having
appreciate
me.
it. You're
Yeah.
welcome. I look forward to sharing you and your advice with my audience. I've been doing myself for all this time, for like 70 plus episodes, just me. And I said, you know what? I need to get other experts in there because, I don't know it all. So I need to, get more people in here. So
Nice.
you were one of the first people I thought of, and I invited you to the show. So I'm glad to have you.
You're
So,
welcome.
with that being said, let's get started. That question: what is your best tip, trick, or advice that helps business owners and entrepreneurs scale from 6 to 7 figures and beyond?
Wow, great question. And I want to make sure I'm unique. So I need to what can I share? Because there are so many first tips I would give. But I think especially because it's unique in that it's 6 to 7 figures. I would say that entrepreneurs should start investing. They need to start, actually, let me rephrase it. They need to move away from the freebie mindset of the fact that, well, wait a minute, I can get this application free for a certain number of contacts or certain number of emails or certain number of something. And if it's not free, then it's very, very kind of inexpensive. And we all know you get what you pay for. So um, I would definitely have them look at where in their business do they need to start investing, whether it's people, places, things, processes, procedures, technology, whatever the case might be, and have a plan because you're going to need to invest. You can no longer do it alone, which you can a lot of times as you're getting into the 100,000 mark. But you really, if you want to be strategic and advance yourself up to that 7 figure number, you want to start investing.
I love that. And I'm glad you specified that because you said investing, and I'm like, okay, are we talking financial investing? Are we talking
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, you went in the direction I thought you were going, is investing in yourself, investing in your business. I
Right,
love that because I'm all about that. Investing
right,
in yourself, your business, whether it be
right,
the tech, the team, the whatever. So
right.
I love that. So speaking to someone who has been, doing it on their own, who's been doing it with all the free software, do you have a favorite place or a best place to get started with their first area of investment? What would you say is the first place they need to invest first?
Well, typically what I'll do with my clients is I there's two areas. One is I love the book E Myth Revisited. I used it, from the get-go of starting my business 14 years ago and have often used it since with my clients because the aspect of it that I like is I have them look at people. So, delegate, delay, delete, or do. And so, kind of draw out a hierarchy or an organization structure, rather. I'm sorry, an organization structure of all the main functions of a business. And of course, as you're starting out, your name is in every box, because I have them placed there, who is it? And they're always like, well, of course it's me. Well, who's the human resource person? It's me. Great. Your job, your goal as a CEO is to get yourself out of all of those boxes, other than maybe the CEO, if that's where you want to sit. And then, so people, but then I have them look at the processes, procedures, and systems. So that's both processes and technologies and applications. And I have them list out all the different areas of the business that require those things. And then we have to look at, because businesses, as much as they're the same, there are some that differ in that, based on the goals that you have, where is the biggest impact you're going to get from the investment that you're going to make. Because it's not just, oh, okay, I need to automate everything, so that's where I'm going to invest. It's not that basic. You really want intentional thought as to where you're going to place your money.
Very good. Very good. I love that. And I love that you cover all aspects. You don't, I mean, yes, there are important places to start, but eventually you do have to invest in every area of your business.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the big things I'm a proponent of is support teams, support people, coaches, mentors, things like that, because you can't do it alone. I mean, yes,
Right.
you do it alone for the first bit of it, but you cannot do it alone. And even if that's just having a circle of support,
Mm-hmm.
friends, coaches, mentors, what
Mm-hmm.
have you.
Mm-hmm.
What is I mean, you're a coach, obviously, so you are a big proponent of coaches and mentors,
Mm-hmm.
but how else do you build that circle of support that is supportive of the business and your future success, the success you want to achieve?
Well, I look at it as kind of, again, various stages. So when I left corporate, and I was accustomed to having a team, because I was a C-level VP executive, individual. So all of a sudden I'm finding myself alone. And I'm like, whoa, wait. I don't want to do this alone. And I know I shouldn't be doing this alone. So I even immediately went out and started building a mentoring support system that were really from fellow colleagues, current friends, people that was meeting out there in the industry. And I wasn't looking to pay, I wasn't looking to invest in them from a financial perspective. I just wanted to create like this circle, this of mastermind that can then help me with the initial stages of what it was that I was working on. And then eventually, a couple of them actually converted to be individuals that I paid. So I hired my first coach. I would say I left in 2008, started my business in 2008. I brought on Joan probably late 2009, and I had her for 11 years before she retired a couple of years ago. So, again, it's in stages, but there's nothing to say that you can't go out and meet people and start forming, those relationships and those partnerships and alliances that can help you get through but you should always, from day one as a CEO, people call it solopreneur, people call it entrepreneur or business owner. You're a CEO, and therefore you have to have the mindset that you have to take these relationships and these opportunities of free, or maybe you're doing an affiliate or an exchange, bartering exchange. You have to invest, because you do get what you pay for, and so you do have to invest.
I love it. I love it. I definitely am with you on that. I can say that I built my business from the ground up by myself initially, and that's kind of why I preach what I preach, so to speak, now about
Mm-hmm.
delegation and team building
Mm-hmm.
and processes and all of those things,
Mm-hmm.
because I learned it myself in building my own business. And so it's really great to hear. I like how, I started out with the free stuff first too. I mean, we all pretty much do, but
Absolutely.
until you make that conscious decision to really invest in your business, whether it be a coach, whether it be technology, whether it be a team,
Mhm.
you won't until you make that conscious decision that and you know that you've got to pay for it and that it's
Mhm.
not going to be cheap, because cheap and
Mhm.
free, you get what you get. And so I really like that, you do start free, you do start cheap, but
Right.
eventually you have to grow up
Right. It,
and invest in yourself and the money, and because it's an investment. It's not
right.
you just spending money
Right.
willy-nilly.
Right.
It is an investment in yourself and your business, because you
Right.
can't get anywhere without any of that. So
Right.
I do love that. And so how do you, when you first got started and you started investing in people, not just your coach, but a team, virtual
Mhm.
assistants, or,
Mhm.
graphic designers, whatever.
Mhm.
Where did you start with your team building, so to speak, or the people that you got that you paid to do work for you so that you could delegate and get stuff off your plate to focus on what you need to focus on?
Right. Well, for me, it was the coach was first, because, and it led me to the fact that I heavily coach 80% mindset, 20% business. Because once you have a mindset, you have the business. That's easy. Once you have the mindset you need. So that said, so the coach was first, then a bookkeeper was second. Because what I found was I really hate doing anything when it has to come to my expenses and my taxes and anything like that. So I just, immediately started getting overwhelmed by the fact that, quarterly, tax estimations and budgets and all that. And that was the first person I picked up the phone to, someone that I met. And I said, Cindy, I need you. And so she was first. And then I graduated to going, okay, so where is my time just being sucked out? Now, one real quick tip I also give people is if you can get it less expensive than your hourly rate of which you're getting paid, as into your revenue, whether it's a product or a service. So for instance, if you're selling something for $100, right? And it takes so much time, and therefore value to sell that $100. And yet you're sitting on your couch doing something that would only cost you $20 an hour to delegate out, to hire out, contract out. Then you need to be contracting, hiring it out. So the next thing was social media, because I was killing myself sitting on my couch doing my own tweets, doing my own Facebook post and whatnot. So I immediately also hired a social media person who I've been working with, gosh, probably since 2012. Um, as a result of that. And then I just kept on saying, okay, so who's next? So only recently, I would say this past year, I progressed into the sales function, hiring sales, a sales team. So it really, you want to look at it intentionally based on your strategy, based on your goals, based on the priority, based on what are you doing that you could actually get, if you spent time doing the work that you're supposed to be doing, that's going to bring in far more revenue than it's costing you going out the door.
I love it. I love it. And
Yeah.
that's how I always present it when people are asking, well, but I can do it all myself, and I can, and I'm like, well, how much do you make when you are coaching or selling your services? How much are you, if you're a coach and you charge 250 an hour, okay, 250 an hour times 10 is $2,500.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
if you hire a VA to do 10 hours of work at $25 an hour, that's $250.
Right.
So if you open up that 10 hours to make space for that 10 hours of coaching, the
Yep.
ROI on your investment is ridiculous.
Right.
And you can't ever get, the more you do coaching, the less you can do the other stuff, but
Right.
then the less you can also get more clients because you're too busy doing all the other stuff. So that's a mindset thing that people are like, well, why should I
Mhm.
pay someone to do it if I can do it myself?
Right. Well, and more importantly, Sophie, the response I would get from somebody what would be, well, I'm doing it on the weekends. I'm not doing it on my time. I'm like, every hour in your day and life is your time. So you're actually giving up life that you should be living because you're choosing, to not to hold on to pennies that now granted, Some people may not have the money to invest. Then get creative is all I would say, is get creative. There's a lot of, I had a team, no lie, Sophie, I would say in about 2012, I had a team of 20 people. Didn't pay any of them, because I just built relationships and did bartering and strategic partnerships and did some affiliations that they said, you know, we both agreed, yep, we don't have to turn money over to each other, but we'll take care of what it is that needs to get done. So there's just a lot of creative ways that entrepreneurs just have to, you know, kind of get creative.
I love that. I love that because, and usually in that same vein, a lot of times I'll ask someone, I'm like, well, if you don't have the money to invest in a VA or even my services, do you have colleges by you? Look at internships.
Mm-hmm.
Create an internship for your people
Mm-hmm.
at your local college. You
Yep.
can usually get them very inexpensive or for free, because certain internships are free.
Right.
They get to put the experience on their resume
Right.
because they're getting that great experience within their field that they can go when they go on a job. They can say, "Yeah, I did an internship with so and so for 6 months. I got all this experience in XYZ." So there are alternatives which
Big
are
time.
still they're good, and they may be free or inexpensive, but you're not getting what you pay for.
Right.
Because
Right.
those internships are just as important to that person as getting paid to do it, because they know the long-term play on that is they get to put it on their resume and they can get a better job and they can actually demand more in pay
Right.
when they're getting that job because they have that experience under their belt.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
So I love that. Very good. So, any last tips or tricks that you want to make sure you tell my people, my listeners, about, scaling their business and the things they need to do that? Anything else?
I have to say something about mindset. It's all about, you know, who you believe you are and who you trust that you are. And then as a result of those two things, how you're then behaving and going about building your business. If you want to build your business from 6 to 7 figures, you have to have that strategic, empowered, bold, risk-taking, investing mindset. You absolutely have to, because if you don't, then you're just going to continue being in a place of desperation and lack and insecurity, and that's not going to get you to where you want to go. So that's why I say I work 80% on mindset with my clients, because I've learned over the years I spent 80% on business, 20% on mindset, and they weren't breaking those ceilings. And I realize it's because so much of our lives, it's all about what's going on in between our ears. So, kind of flip that formula around and say, I'm going to work every day 80% on ensuring that I'm in the right mindset to make the decisions, take the actions, make the investments, hire the people that will take me to that next level.
I love it. And that is a super valid point, because I can say from experience as well, the first few years I was mostly business, 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 grow it, do this, do that, all the business stuff. And it wasn't until I got my first coach about, let's see, 7 years after I started my business, my first full-time coach, that, that was one of the things he hit first and foremost was mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and you see, when you get involved with a coach or somebody who teaches about mindset, talks about mindset, you might at first be resistant because you're like, now mind over matter, whatever. No, no, no. And it's like, no, it's more than mind over matter.
Big
There
time.
is, and because that's the people who are grinding. They're like, mind over matter. If I just do this,
Mm-hmm.
that's so not the way to go, because
Right.
that's where you get to the working 24/7,
Right.
spending your time on weekends, and you're burnt out because you think that's the right mindset is, if I just keep going, if I just keep hustling. And it's like, well, wait, no, what else is going on in that head of yours? That's,
Right.
because I was this close to 6 figures before I hired that coach. I mean, this close. And then I hired that coach and it was my first coach, and it was a very inexpensive program with a really great coach. And so it was mostly virtual. And I disciplined myself to do the work, because when it's a virtual thing, I tend to not do that like a lot of people.
I can understand that.
But I really disciplined myself and really stuck to it. And And because I was on that lower level program, so to speak, it did take me a full 18 months to get to six figures, but it was so worth it. And it was so much easier than all the 7 years I'd spent prior to that trying to do it
Right.
by myself.
Right.
And that allowed me to graduate into a bigger, better program with him, and he could take me further.
Right.
And then, and I just keep growing with it, and you had a coach for 11 years straight, and that's
Mhm.
great. Sometimes you have to bounce around to coaches.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
It's
absolutely.
one coach is
Absolutely.
not necessarily going to get you all the way there the whole
Right.
time, because
Right.
you're as you grow and change and evolve, that the relationship changes. It's just like your
Right.
clients too.
Right.
You may
Right.
not have a long-term client because one of you will outgrow the other, and depending upon what you're doing. So
Right.
but mindset, any coach you get, any people you surround yourself with in your business,
Mhm.
the mindset is key, because that's the other thing.
Mhm.
If you're surrounding yourself with people who don't have the same kind of mindset you do,
Yep.
they're going to drag you down with them.
Absolutely.
You have to surround
Absolutely.
that whole phrase about supporting, your five best friends are where you're at in life.
Right.
Who are those
Right.
five people you surround you? If they're down here and you're up here, they're going to drag you back down here.
Mhm.
That's why you have to find that group of people around you, and then they can be friends and family.
Right.
They got to believe in what you're doing, and they got to believe in you, because if they think, yeah, that's a pipe dream, where are you going to get with that?
Trust me, I've had a number of those over the years that of what I was doing, they considered pipe dream. I'm like, okay, nice. Talk to the hand.
It's like, oh,
I'm
I'm
over
glad you
here.
think that. Yeah, I'm going to go
Yeah.
over here to these people who get it, because
Yep.
that's important. People got to get it. And if they don't get it because they think you just got to work a corporate job all your life. I mean, look at you. You spent what, 20 years in corporate?
Hmm.
And then you converted to a business, and you're, I would say, more successful now as your own business
Oh,
owner,
yes.
your own business, than you ever were in corporate.
Right. Right.
So definitely, I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Well, Bernadette, on that note, let's tell everybody where they can find you, how they can learn more, and if there's anything any offer you want to put out there to my people, go for it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So balloffirecoaching.com is my core business site. I am right now kind of blocking my calendar with what I call cash revenue generating strategy sessions, which are deep dive strategy sessions to lay out your 6-month business plan, which is all focused on you getting clients in the door and money in the bank, and having that roadmap that will help you get over being confused or overwhelmed or stuck or insecure. So we are offering that. You can go to coachwithbernadette.com/strategy session and block out those one-on-one private via Zoom type of sessions where we're just going to get down and dirty as to laying out your 6-month plan. So, and then of course, I'm on Facebook and Twitter. You can go to Shift to Riches Today on Facebook. Twitter is Bernadette Boas. And join my Powerhouse Mavericks Facebook group. It's filled with great female coaches, consultants, and service providers. And you can go to facebook.com/groups/Powerhouse Mavericks.
Love it, love it. And I'm a part of that group, so
Yes, you are.
I can speak to the validity and the greatness of that group, because I'm a part
Oh,
of
thanks.
it. And I was she even had featured me on one of her shows. So, it's a great place to network, connect, and learn. That's what I love about it. She's not just in there pitching her services like
Right. No,
so
yeah.
many groups are. It
Right.
really is a helpful, informative group, and a place to collaborate and learn, and the whole nine yards. So, with that being said, we're going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for listening today. Bernadette, thanks again for being on the show.
Yeah.
I look forward to connecting with you again in the group, and always any day and beyond. And thank you to my listeners. We will see you next week with the next guest, who will be just as good as she is, and we're going to have fun. So thank you, and we will talk to you next week.